Weren't you the guy that said you were going to end the war in Ukraine in 24 hours? And by the way, he didn't say it once. He basically said it at every single campaign rally. He said he would end the war in 24 hours. Before he even got into office, he said he would do that. Now it's been 5 months. The war's still going on. But Donald Trump says he was just being sarcastic.
Go ahead, right in the back. Yeah, you, tall one. The tall man.
Mr. President, Johannes Petra from Austrian National Television.
How are you?
You once said that you would end the Ukraine war in 24 hours. You later said that sarcastically.
Well, of course it was sarcastic.
But you've now been in office for 5 months and 5 days. Why have you not been able to end the Ukraine war?
Because it's more difficult than people would have any idea. Vladimir Putin has been more difficult. Frankly, I had some problems with Zelensky. You may have read about him. And it's been more difficult than other wars. I mean, look, we just ended a war in 12 days that was simmering for 30 years, frankly. We ended Rwanda and the Congo. It's coming to sign the documents. We've already signed basic documents, but they're coming, I think, to the White House on Friday. We ended Serbia was going to go at it. But maybe the most important of all, India and Pakistan. And that wasn't whether or not they may someday have nukes like we're talking about in the Middle East, like we're talking about with Israel and Iran. This is they have nuclear weapons. I ended that with a series of phone calls on trade. I said, look, if you...
Why is he talking about other parts of the world? The question wasn't about India. The question was about Ukraine. And then he uses the excuse, once again, I was just being sarcastic. Just like when he talks about injecting yourself with disinfectant and the next day he said, I was just joking. He campaigned on the fact that he would be a peace president. He campaigned on the fact that he would end the war within 24 hours. And this reporter actually from Austria asked a very good question. You said you would end the war in 24 hours. Oh, I was just being sarcastic. And this goes to show you his incompetence and the lies. But apparently he just recently in the last few days had a phone conversation with Vladimir Zelensky. Did he ask Zelensky about a ceasefire?
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Yes. Mr. President, Netherlands TV, thank you for visiting our country.
Good.
As I understood, I, of course, would like to know how you slept last night at the House of the King.
Oh, I slept beautifully.
But probably a more serious question. I think you just had a meeting with President Zelensky. Did you discuss any ceasefire in this Russo-Ukrainian war?
No, I wanted to know how he's doing. He was very nice, actually. You know, we had little rough times sometimes. He was, couldn't have been nicer. I think he'd like to see an end to this. I do. I think what I took from the meeting couldn't have been nicer, actually. But I took from the meeting that he'd like to see it end. I think it's a great time to end it. I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin, see if we can get it ended. But look, these are brave people. They're fighting these wars all over the place. You know, last week they had, I guess, I told you, close to 7,000 young soldiers, Russian and Ukrainian soldiers were killed, 7,000 in 1 week. It's crazy. It's crazy. So I'll be speaking to Putin. No, I had a good meeting with Zelensky. And I had a lot of good meetings. We had a lot of good meetings with a lot of people, a lot of great leaders. But he's fighting a brave battle. It's a tough battle. Yeah.
Yeah, you had a lot of great meetings with a lot of leaders, just like you had so many meetings with President Xi when it turned out that was a lie. So wait, let me get this right. We have a war in Ukraine right now that is still going on. Donald Trump said he would end the war in 24 hours. You just had a conversation with Zelensky. No conversation about a ceasefire. I just wanted to see how he was doing. And then you just said to the world, I'm going to speak to Vladimir Putin. We'll see if we can get this ended. Well, that's very reassuring, Mr. President. I mean, I cannot believe what I'm hearing. But then again, every single day, I find myself saying, I'm not shocked. What an embarrassment on the world stage.